Welcome to Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered and giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Tuesday, January 22nd. I'm Mike James. Coming up in a bit, new features have been added to Google Maps that could keep you from getting a ticket. Plus, speculation that the viral 10-year challenge could be used to collect data about you, and what some Amazon employees are wearing to keep robots from bumping into them. We'll get started in just a moment. But first, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make these Komando podcasts possible. We start with Google. They already know everything about you. As a consolation prize, they're going to try to keep you from getting a speeding ticket. Within the last couple of days, Google has added speed limits to Google Maps, and the new feature will also display locations of speed traps, at least the ones they know about. This all comes after 2 years of testing in San Francisco and Rio de Janeiro. So next time you open the Google Map app, you'll see the maximum speed for the road or highway that you're currently traveling on in the lower left corner. Speed traps will be indicated with small camera icons, and if you have the volume turned up, the app will make a sound to let you know that you're coming up on one of those speed traps. Those changes should just show up in your app without the need to update it through the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Now, the other really popular navigation app, Waze, has already had these features for a number of years, but keep in mind they're also owned by Google after being purchased back in 2013. So although the new feature could be helpful, it's also a reminder that Google is always watching. And of course, social media is always watching you as well, and now they could be using a viral challenge as a way to see how you age. So millions of people have shared photos of themselves from 10 years ago to today. In the cleverly named 10-year challenge, it's supposed to be a way to show your friends how much or little that you've aged or changed over the past decade. But if you listen to the Kim Komando show this past weekend, Kim and Andrew discussed the topic, and a big ulterior motive to this challenge could be to help facial recognition algorithms learn how to detect aging on a massive scale. It could do so without having to sift through everyone's old profile pictures. Instead, people taking part in the challenge are doing the work for them. So what could that mean? Well, for one, it might be a big step in making facial recognition smarter. And think about insurance companies. They could potentially see how you age and use that as a determination of whether or not to insure you. So although it's nice to see a challenge that doesn't involve potential bodily harm, that just means there's another catch and another way that your data could be used against you. Like I said, Kim and Andrew talked about this on the show. If you want to listen to that conversation, it was a good one in hour 2. Just go to getkim.com. It's a couple of bucks a month, very cheap, and you can listen to or watch the show on your schedule. You could come and join us while we record the show live on Friday. More about that at getkim.com. And just ahead, the Apple Watch's health features are part of a new study to help save lives. Right now, let me tell you about our partners at Stitch Fix. My life can get pretty hectic. Between work and family, I don't always have time to shop for myself, and that's why we're excited about Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix is an online personal styling service that finds and delivers clothes, shoes, and accessories to fit your body, budget, and lifestyle. Just go to stitchfix.com/Kim and tell them your sizes, what styles you like, and how much you want to spend on each item. You'll be paired with your very own personal stylist who will hand-pick items to send right to your door. You try them on, pay only for what you love, and return the rest. Shipping, exchanges, and returns are always free, and there's no subscription required. Stitch Fix's styling fee is only $20, which is applied toward anything you keep from your shipment. It was really easy to get it set up, and I can't wait to get my first box. Get started right now at stitchfix.com/Kim, and you'll get an extra 25% off when you keep all the items in your box. That's stitchfix.com/Kim. Well, the health features of the latest Apple Watch are going to be a part of a research study that aims to save lives. Johnson & Johnson is teaming up with Apple to find out if their app can be used with the smartwatch's built-in EKG feature and irregular rhythm notifications to more quickly diagnose atrial fibrillation, or AFib, which can lead to strokes and heart failure. Specifically, the study wants to look at the Apple Watch's early AFib detection in a randomized group of people over the age of 65. If successful, Johnson & Johnson says the research could develop new ways to detect other health conditions earlier. The study is supposed to start near the end of the year. Now, this is the second recent announcement regarding the Apple Watch. Last week, you might recall, we told you Apple is working with private Medicare health plans to subsidize the watch for some seniors. Uber is back in the news. They're apparently not just limiting their self-driving plans to cars. Now they're looking at scooters and bicycles that drive themselves too. While the struggle continues to put driverless cars on the road, Uber is looking at alternatives for people who may want to avoid the cost of a car ride or the inconvenience of traffic. So it was just announced over the weekend that Uber plans to build autonomous electric scooters and bicycles. They're even hiring engineers for this new project. Some cities already offer scooters and bikes to get around town, and of course they often get littered in the middle of a sidewalk without a second thought. But these self-driving versions could potentially drop someone off, then return to a home base for charging, and take themselves back to a pickup point. So which will become mainstream first? Self-driving cars, bicycles, scooters, or maybe it's something that hasn't even been invented yet, like self-driving roller skates. All right, now continuing with that last story, let's say you're on one of those self-driving scooters and you're listening to some music and everything's going great until a song from that band that you can't stand comes on. That first world problem could be a thing of the past, since Spotify is testing a new feature for iOS that will allow you to block specific artists. Once you block the musician or group, they won't appear in your personal library, playlists, curated playlists, radios, or anywhere else. Just think about it. It's like Nickelback never even existed. Again, it's still being tested and only by a small group of people. So right now, there's no indication on when or if this feature will become available. So until then, you still have to keep hitting the skip button and hoping for the best that the song doesn't get stuck in your head. Coming up in just a few moments, some Amazon workers don't have to worry about robots bumping into them anymore. We'll tell you why. And right now, a quick thank you to our friends who help make these podcasts possible. There's a lot of streaming services out there that spend a lot of serious money on their original content, especially Netflix. That's become more obvious since, one, it's reported that they currently have about 700 original series, not including their original movies, and two, they just raised their rates last week. But how much do they spend on some of their original shows? Well, Digital Trends put together a list of some of their more popular shows and how much it costs to produce them. Orange is the New Black is coming up on its 7th and final season, costs about an average of $50 million per season, which comes out to $4 million per episode. Hemlock Grove, which wrapped up after 3 seasons, cost about that. And House of Cards, which is also concluded, came in about $4.5 million per episode. But you can double that amount for The Crown, which costs about $130 million per season, which averages about $13 million per episode. Man, that's a lot of money. But they're not the only ones. Amazon is reportedly planning to spend $1 billion on the planned 5 seasons of the Lord of the Rings series for Prime Video, which comes out to be about $200 million per season. And that's one expensive ring to rule them all. Speaking of Amazon, now you might not know this, but there are about 100,000 robots across their various warehouses, along with, of course, their human counterparts. Now, most of these robots work in areas not frequented by real people, but sometimes robots break things or make mistakes, and that means human interaction. So now, a lot of warehouse employees are wearing what's called a robotic tech vest, or RTV, to make them more visible to nearby robots and other machines. Amazon's vice president of robotics told TechCrunch that now the robots can virtually see people from further away and make course corrections. Amazon says the RTVs have been a huge success and have been added to more than 25 sites over the past year. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, do us a favor and share us out with your friends or tell them about us. Helps more people find us, and we appreciate that. Finally, for today's Commando Kicker, the first close-up pictures of the most distant celestial object ever explored have been released recently. They show what looks like a reddish snowman. The small icy objects consists of two fused-together spheres, one slightly bigger than the other. It's called Ultima Thule, and it initially looked like a bowling pin, but with closer images now resembles more of the snowman shape. Scientists believe the two parts were initially separate, but slowly came together and just stuck there. The whole object is about 21 miles long and is soundly bound together. What will they discover next? For more fun and interesting facts, go to Commando.com and search for the Commando Kicker. And that's your tech news for today. If you want to win great prizes like the Commando 2-in-1 tablet and laptop, or even a Commando Bluetooth speaker, simply become a Commando ambassador. If you love getting the Commando free email newsletters, you can share it with your friends and family who will benefit from valuable tech and the digital life hacks. Invite them to get the free email alerts. And more people you invite, the more they sign up and the more prizes you win. Just go to Commando.com/ambassador to learn more.